Hi, everybody. You want me to just go start?
Go for it. Yes.
We are here to talk about the NFL and our growth audiences and how we are going to be diversifying the league and all of the great stuff that we are doing. If you were here yesterday, you heard our Chief Marketing Officer, Tim Ellis, talk about all of our great strategies. And today, we have our global brand and consumer marketing team with us. These are amazing marketers, and we're going to talk about growth audiences. So I'll start with myself, Marissa Solis. I am the SVP of the global brand and consumer marketing team. I came to the league after an 18-year career at PepsiCo. And what we are going to talk about today is the reason I came to the league. Tim was looking to change the game, literally, diversify the league. If you look 3-4 years ago, and you looked at our fan base, the majority of the fan base was probably slightly older, skewed middle America, skewed, male. Today and into the future, as we grow that fan base, we want to reflect what America looks like. And we want that fan base to be young, to be diverse, and really to embrace everybody. And so today we're going to talk about that. I'm going to have Sarah introduce herself, and then we'll go through.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Bishop. I have been at the league now for about 9 months. Come from a career of sort of working on CPG brands, a little bit in the sports space. But really the reason that I came to the league is not super dissimilar from Marissa. I think I've worked on a lot of big brands before. And you get into the sort of repetitive nature of the copy and paste on everything year over year over year, and then wonder why you can't attract new fans. And I think that there is something incredibly special about the way the NFL is trying to future-proof the business by, looking at how we can meaningfully connect with new audiences now before sort of we're in a position where we need to be reactive in that sense. So I feel very lucky to work with such a wonderful group of people and to be on this business.
Javier, Farfan. This is my third. I counted on Super Bowl time, so this is my third Super Bowl. And my background, I've worked on CPG companies and other really focused on marketing initiatives, but my focus here on the NFL is really focused on culture and influence, going after the Latino audience.
And before, I'm actually going to do the introduction because we have a very special guest that we're excited to have. So Diana Flores is the world champion, captain and quarterback of the Mexican national flag football team. Last year, they went undefeated, 6-0. They won the world championship. She is a gold medalist. And if that's not enough, she was the captain of the AFC team last week at the Pro Bowl alongside Peyton Manning. I'm sorry for the loss. I know Eli got you guys there, but you're going to come back strong, I'm sure. But it was a great time. And so today we're going to talk about, why Diana's here, why we're all here, and hopefully get you guys excited about what's coming ahead for the league.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Marissa, for that amazing introduction. And just wanted to know that I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me here. And let's start.
Exciting. We're going to have a lot of exciting topics to cover as well. So I do have to do this. I know the NFL, you have to be neutral on your teams, but I am rooting for the Eagles. So fly, Eagles, fly. Woo! So
we're Team 33. NFL is Team 33. 32 teams in the league.
That's right. So just to kick things off, Tim did a great panel yesterday. It was really inspiring. We enjoyed it immensely. He spoke yesterday about the league's key marketing strategy to grow both the core fandom as well as acquire the new generation of fans, which you've touched on. Can you speak more to the strategy and specifically why acquiring these new fans is so critical to the league?
Yes, and I spoke a little as I was introducing. We've been on a journey for about 4 years now. It's called our Helmets Off strategy. We literally want to take the helmets off of our players. We want people to connect with our players and with the league and truly make the league approachable and really deeply human. And when you look at the demographics of the country and where the country's headed, our future fan base, as I said, is multicultural. Our future fan base is young, is women. And so these new audiences are incredibly important. Our strategy to reach growth audiences is specifically engaging with young people. So you're talking about 18 and below, particularly kids. We're going to talk about youth participation and how important that is. Women today, the league is actually the largest number of women fans. We're 80 million strong, about 48% of our fan base. So we have a very strong women fan base, and we want to increase it. And then Latino, LGBTQ, really all these underserved communities that we really want to reach. We are 32 million Latino fans. I always say 32 million and 1 and 2 and 3 because we're big fans of the league. And so that is also a major strategy. We like to engage in two ways. And I know Tim talked about this yesterday. We like to talk about the joy of the game and really engage people in just how incredibly competitive, amazing, fun the game can be. And then we also like to talk about how we transcend the game, because it's very important for our communities, particularly our growth audiences, that we are touching our communities, that we're advancing those local communities and really getting involved. And so we're actually going to show a lot of work today. I'm going to start by just showing a couple of spots. One of them is all about the joy of the game, but it is targeting that young audience and really getting them to see how fun the game is so that they can participate. So I'm going to show that spot and then talk a little bit about the second one.
All right, here we go. The sheriff is here. That's me. I'm the sheriff. We're going to do things the old school way, the tried and true football way. Enough with all this pizzazz, okay? We're just not doing that. This is a touchdown celebration. We clear on that one? Boring!
I mean, the guy gets football, but he just didn't get us youths.
Enough was enough. We had to show them how we play.
Youth football is all about swag, style, fun. 3 things Peyton has none of.
Personal best here. I was lightning out there. I let her go by me.
Bussin', dope, fit, yassify. These are just the words we use. This is dapping, this is dabbing. Peyton doesn't know the difference. What's up, fam?
Come to find out, I'm a natural touchdown dancer. Who knew?
See the propellers, we fly forever. Cool kids, we fly together. Took no effort.
What is that?
He was terrible.
But he had fun. That's what this game's all about.
Let me be the first to say, welcome, Peyton, to the future of football.
Everything hurts. Lemonade's very warm.
I know, Sarah, you're going to talk a lot about how we're engaging youth and getting them to participate. And there's nothing better than the Mannings to get you going. I also want to just share the other side of how we engage with our audiences, and that's really about transcending the game. And gosh, we have so much incredible work in this area, but I did just want to show one that's particularly special for us. Again, talking about how we're going to engage with women and really get young girls to get involved. And this is part of our My Cause, My Cleats campaign. We partner with an organization called Play Like a Girl. So I'm just going to let it play and let you guys see.
Having my daughter Skylar changed my life. Skylar saw me chase my dream. Now my dream is to see Skylar chase hers. I want to give girls, just like Skylar, more opportunities to succeed in fields where not enough girls have. So I teamed up with Play Like a Girl to help girls realize their limitless potential in STEM and sports. To my daughter and all girls with big dreams, I see you. This is my cause and my pledge to your futures.
So I love how we're getting involved in the community as well to reach young girls out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I found soccer, or soccer found me in 4th grade. and what it brought to me as far as developing my self-esteem and my sense of competition and shaped who I am today personally and professionally is just a wonderful thing. So I love how you guys are reaching out to girls, young girls, and youth. And I know, Sarah, you're going to talk a little bit about that now and share some examples. So let's... Can you talk a little bit more around the efforts that you elevate the flag football specifically around the world?
Of course. I mean, I think to start maybe contextualizing it a little bit, there's probably not one marketing person in this room that doesn't understand the importance of attracting that newer and younger fan or consumer or audience. And so specifically for the NFL, avid fans of the NFL become avid fans, about 83% of them before they reach the age of 18. So we know that connecting from a very young age is critical. Kids who play the sport are 4 times more likely to be avid fans. So for us, participation is a game-changing way to connect with them. And then Marissa mentioned, while we're exceptionally fortunate to be the #1 league with women, there's definitely still a gap in avidity between women and men. And that difference is really because from a very young age, boys have very clear and established pathways to play and to develop with the game. So from our perspective, flag football really is a massive opportunity to be able to integrate the game and incorporate the game into the lives of families everywhere, and is a game-changing platform for women. No one knows that more than Diana, I'm sure, which she'll speak about. And because of the work of the NFL and all of our 32 clubs, none of this is new. It's been happening for 10 plus years. There's been incredible work happening to develop these grassroots programs. We've seen an insane amount of momentum with girls in the sport. In this past season, over 600,000 girls played in our NFL flag leagues nationally here in the US. 40% increase in girls' high school flag play, which is incredibly impactful when you think about the impact that COVID had on youth participation broadly. 7 states now have sanctioned high school flag for girls as a varsity sport, including California, that happened last week, and New York, that happened on International Women and Girls Sports Day. So there's an incredible amount of pathways that are being opened there, and we're not just sort of focusing on how we introduce the next generation to this game. We're also focused on how we continue to create pathways beyond high school. So the NFL has worked in collaboration with the NJCAA, the NAIA, to also ensure that women's flag is sanctioned at a collegiate level. We're working with USA Football to ensure it gets sanctioned as an NCAA sport. So I could go on and on. I'm obviously very passionate about the number of ways that from a grassroots level this is taking off. But I think the biggest sort of goal for us is how we create those visible pathways and those role models for the game in people like Diana. And so from a marketing perspective, we've really spent the last season especially focused, although there are a number of people who have spent much longer than that in the league, but we've spent the last season focused on how we elevate both the game and those role models in everything from, we had a number of youth activations across all of our international game series. I hope people watched the Pro Bowl games last weekend, the Reimagine Pro Bowl games. They were incredibly fun, and there were a number of activations, both youth activations within the US, but also international tournaments around that. And I don't think I'm giving away too much when I maybe tease out the fact that we have an incredible Super Bowl spot that's coming out this weekend that's focused on flag football. So I think it's an incredible statement that the league is making around sort of female participation in the sport. But our vision sort of also doesn't stop there. I think we recognize that there is a world outside of the US. I sort of say this as a Canadian too, but there's a world outside of the American borders, and flag is played by over 20 million people in 100 countries, which is insane to me. So, we're also partnering with the International Federation of American Football to push for flag to be an Olympic sport, with an eye on LA 28, so that we can inspire kids to continue to move forward with this dream, knowing that there is sort of something that's significantly bigger waiting for them. We're shortlisted, so we'll find out whether or not we make the cut at some point this year. And if we do, it marks the first time historically that American football has been on the Olympic agenda. So I think it's an incredibly powerful statement from a storied brand like the NFL in sort of being able to put a flag in the ground, no pun intended, around how important female participation is. And I think it's only going to continue to then allow little girls to see themselves as part of our brand. So I think it's incredibly special. And maybe to articulate the vision a little bit better from an international perspective, I wouldn't be in marketing if I didn't come with a piece of content. So I'll show you a spot.
This game is a team game, born from the spirit of we, not I. Where even potential is a team effort. Through teamwork and hard work, our journey has gotten us here. From the streets of Brazil, to the grass of Ghana, to center stage at SoFi. Now and for the first time ever, to combine these incredible forces of the global football family and the Olympic Games. The passion of IFAF. The power of the Olympic rings to inspire. The reach of the NFL. The cheers of millions of LA fans played on the biggest international stage. Imagine the history we could make together under a shared vision for the future. Empowering and electrifying a whole generation and building a better world through sport.
That's awesome. It's very inspiring. It's great to see you leveling the playing field, so to speak, for the female athletes coming into play. You were going to touch on a couple other things you're linking this youth strategy to as well. Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, of course. So outside of participation, I mean, really everything that we do here, we're focused on really building that affinity with the next generation of fans by keeping football at the forefront of culture and have kind of tease that a little bit, and we'll talk more about what he's doing on the Latino side. But from a youth perspective, outside of participation, there's a number of different verticals also that we use to connect with youth, from viewing games either live or on broadcast, to connecting around some of the shared experiences around games, to then purpose. And Marissa sort of showed some of the stuff that we're doing from a cause perspective to show that that's underpinning everything from a league and team perspective. I think the best example outside of the participation space and the cause space that I'll give is through our partnership with Nickelodeon. And so that sort of was born out of this need and desire to want to introduce the game to kids in a different way, in a vernacular that they're familiar with. And so I think we're fortunate enough to be in our second year now of our partnership with Nickelodeon. It's sort of in two key parts. The first is through a kid-centric 30-minute highlights show that's hosted by Nate Burleson and young Dylan, and it really introduces kids to the X's and O's of the game, but layers in Nickelodeon characters and tonality and sensibility, and it really is a meaningful and really thoughtful way, actually, to introduce the experience in the game to kids. And the second part of that is a very cool simulcast game that they do every year as part of our partnership. This year, it was one of the Christmas games, dubbed the Nickmas game. And it was amazing from a show production perspective. There was like end zone slimings when touchdown happened, Yetis that were bouncing around, Gronk dressed as the elf on the shelf. So there was like a ton of stuff that happened around it. And I think it was sort of fun and playful and great, and that was fantastic from a kid viewing perspective. But I think the meaningful piece of it is that it really opens up a co-viewing opportunity for kids and their parents. And so it continues to allow us to connect with families in a way that we haven't before.
Great. Were you going to show any examples of that?
I don't have any examples of that, but you should Google it, because everybody now should want to see what a Yeti running on a football field looks like.
Definitely will Google that. And Javier, you're going to talk about youth and women, and indeed a key part of the strategy. Marissa mentioned an elevated effort to reach the Latino community, which you're taking charge of. Can you speak to that and show? I think you're going to show us some examples as well.
Yeah, I'm going to show a couple of examples, but Marissa mentioned it, right? The importance of the Latino community, specifically in the U.S., but of course internationally when we think about Latin America. We have 32 million fans. 17% of our total fan base right now is Latino. I believe around 53% of them are under the age of 24. So as you think about where the world is going, the U.S. is going, it is going to be, I think it's around 1 in 4 folks under 24 are of Latino descent. We have to think about the Latino community. The challenge is, as we think about the Latino community, sometimes we marginalize the opportunity. The work that we've been doing here at the NFL is how do we think about intersectionality? How do we infuse Latin culture into everything that we're doing, as opposed to siloing it and really putting that as something that we have to do, but more as how do we put flavor into the marketing and activation, and instead of us bringing them to us, we go to them. And a perfect example of that is what I'm wearing, and everybody's been talking about my jacket as I walked in here because it's hot. We actually started a program called NFL Origins, and a few minutes from here, we're doing a PR event where we're actually engaging designers from the local community here in Phoenix, and some of them are Latino, some of them are Native American, but we're giving NFL is giving them the platform to show their swag, right? And that's what we've been doing, and we're going to show you a couple of examples of that. The first example we call is the Por la Cultura campaign, and we were privileged enough to work with a gentleman called Anthony Ramos. I don't know if you guys know who Anthony Ramos is. He was in Hamilton. He was in The Heights. He's going to be the lead actor for the Transformers. We pitched them this idea of, hey, we really want to embrace your fandom the way you do it, right? Tell us the stories that you hear from your Latino family, your heritage, and bring that to life. But we're not going to do it in Spanish. We did it in Spanish, but we're going to actually put it as a main part of our overall campaign, and I'm going to share that with you. The other example I'm going to show you is something called our NFL Shop Spot. We know that they're big consumers of fashion, right? So let's embrace that. And how do we embrace that in an NFL Shop Spot? Instead of making a Latino spot, we infuse their music into it, we infuse their influencers into it, and we infuse the energy and vibrancy of the culture. And you'll see how that comes out.
It's about family, familia, how we show up for la cultura, how we represent everywhere we go. Touchdown! From Philadelphia to Kansas City, New York to Los Angeles. Estamos bailando, gozando y representando el fútbol americano. Because when that beat hits, y'all know what time it is. Let's go!
So we were just looking at each other because we did that spot in September.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we didn't even think
Philadelphia to Kansas City.
That was an eagle carrying the football too and running
that
towards
is
the touchdown.
insane. Oh my God.
Yeah, and you know
that is so insane.
The funny thing is that the reason we picked Kansas City is because we didn't have any other type of jersey. So we were like, let's switch it to Kansas City. Look at that. And then now the next...
The realities.
Exactly. The next one is the Shop Spot. And really the secret to this is that we're not just putting that, on our Spanish language broadcasters with Telemundo. You guys, if you watched the football game this season, you've seen those spots, and you probably moved to those spots. That's what we're trying to do. I'll stop there.
Hey, Javier, I wanted to just have you tell the story of the guys, the music, and what happened when we aired that spot in the Dominican Republic, because that was pretty cool.
So the gentleman that you're hearing there is a DJ called DJ Idoni. Think of him as the DJ Khaled of Latin America. He's TikTok guy. Everywhere he shows up, hundreds of thousands of people are really all about it. The young people. We were friendly with his management. We said, we're going to use your music. We put it, very cost-efficient opportunity, and it was actually exposure for him. We did not know that, the people from the Dominican Republic were so excited to see their music. It's called dembow music. Is the future of where reggaeton is going. Be like, wow, NFL is appreciating my culture, and it was all over the Latin America Twitter kind of conversations. I mean, they were thanking God, Santa Claus, you name it, they were thanking somebody for making it happen. And this guy has become even bigger just from that aspect of us, incorporating the idea of intersectionality into our conversation.
Which organically helped meet your goal, right, of expanding into the Latino audience and the youth and just making that kind of go viral, if you will.
Exactly
Yeah.
right. Exactly
okay,
right.
One question though. Can we buy your jacket on the NFL shop?
I mean, yes. Please go to
there we
NFL
go.
Shop, NFL Origins, support these local designers from Phoenix and give them some love.
Yes, absolutely. It's great. So, Deanna, you're an ambassador for the league, and you are a great example of how the league is leaning in and manifesting these efforts to connect with the Latino community. You just came back from being captain of the AFC team along Peyton Manning at the Pro Bowl games. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
Yes, so I think that for me, I'm still trying to ground everything. It was an experience full of emotions. It was, I always say that I'm sure this was way bigger than myself. I know that it meant a lot, not only for the sport, but for women in sport, for the road of flag football worldwide. It was my honor to be part of this 2023 Pro Bowl games and be able to work side by side with the legends of the NFL like Peyton Manning and Ray Lewis, and also with those amazing players from the NFL, and be able to actually have a voice between all of these stars of the sport and contribute with my knowledge, my experience, and my passion for the sport. I think that besides putting a great show on the field, that I think all the fans enjoyed it, the players enjoyed it. It was a new thing for them. They realized also that flag football, even if it is similar to football, it is still different in terms of the rules, in terms of what it looks like, how it feels like to play it. It is faster, it is more creative. You need more agility on the field, more body control, and we saw it in a couple plays when they, by moments, forgot that it was flag, not tackle. But it was fun to see their joy, that they really got to enjoy the game. I had the opportunity to talk with a couple of them after the games were over, and they were so happy to have this opportunity. It was, as I said, the first time for a couple of them to experience flag football, and I feel that they got really connected with the essence of it, which is teamwork, which is the passion of the sport, which is to be able to show yourself on the field in a safe way, not worrying about getting injured or anything. So I think that was a great feeling for them. And also, besides, as I said, to put a great show on the field, I think that we made a real statement to the world of what, me as ambassador, the NFL, IFAF, we're trying to tell the world, to share with the world not only the greatness of the sport, but also the values of it, which are like inclusion, empowerment, because we broke a lot of barriers there. I was a woman between a team full of men players, legends, the best players from the NFL. I was a Latina girl there. So to be able also to build this path for the future generations and give them illusion, hope to see that it is possible to one day be here where I am today, for me was one of the biggest blessings I can have. So it was an amazing experience, and I'm sure this is going to be a game changer from now on.
Your passion, I mean, you can feel the passion about the role and the importance of the role that you play, and it's really honorable. So, and I think you make an excellent ambassador, and look forward to seeing you carry that out through the coming months and possibly years. Is there anything you want to highlight in particular about that role and what you're hoping to accomplish with those efforts?
Well, now we would talk about that. Right now, I remember that little girl that started playing flag football 17 years ago when the sport was not known in my city. I'm from Mexico City. So I was from one of the kind of first young players that started practicing the sport. I had to play with older girls and even boys to be able to practice the sport I loved. At that time, I didn't have a role model to follow. I used to watch the NFL since I was young with my dad, and I had, of course, my role models, which were men players. But as a little girl, you don't really get to engage with them because you cannot relate with them. Because even if you like the sport, you're passionate about it, you love how they play, they are not like you. They are way taller. They are men. So, I mean, anything. So, first of all, now to be able to be somehow that role model for the little girls that are coming, that are passionate about this sport, that love this sport and want to grow, it is a pleasure, it is a blessing, I feel, because I wish I had that when I was younger. Someone to look at and say, hey, this can be possible. For now, I feel that I'm living dreams that I didn't know I even had. Because a lot of things that are happening, I didn't know that were possible when I was younger. And right now, to be able to show the little girls that this is possible, I feel that it gives them, like a different way to see life, a different way to see themselves and feel empowered and feel strong and feel capable to do anything they want. So for me, that's one of the, first messages I always want to spread and show the world and the little girls and the future generations that they are capable to do anything they want, that dreams come true, that it doesn't matter about the gender, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter who you are. It only matters what you have to bring to the table. It only matters your passion about what you do, your heart, all your discipline, your hard work, and that's really what matters. So, yes, for me, that's one of the messages I would like to keep spreading through this.
You are doing it, because this morning when I turned NPR on, the segment was a young high school girl in California talking about how excited she is that she can go play flag football and be recognized. So you are making an impact and you are making your dreams come true. So thank you. How about a round of applause?